SoloMoms Talk was designed to curate the stories of solo moms globally. As a facilitator of this platform, I aim to create a peaceful environment where you can share your heart, feel loved, and get the advice you need. So if this sounds like you, why not RSVP for our next virtual meetup? The link is below. It's where you can retreat from the chaos of your life so you can recharge, connect with other moms, and get answers to your burning questions. Remember, you're not alone and you don't have to parent in silence. My guest today is Alison Rothman. Alison is a solo mom, and I'm always excited to talk to solo moms. Welcome, Allison.
Well, thank you so much. It's
Yes.
a definite treat.
Yeah, for me. So first of all, tell me, are you still a solo mom?
I am. I have been for 11 years.
Okay, so tell me, how did you become a solo mom?
Well, my son is 12. He'll be 13 in May. And I had just a very short, tumultuous marriage and realized pretty quickly that I didn't want to live my life in a relationship that was not life enhancing, we'll just say, very abusive and dysfunctional. And so when my son was 1, I just decided I was just going to do it on my own. And 11 years later, we are on our own, and he lives with me full time, and we're an incredible team. It's actually a very, very special relationship.
Yes. Mom and their boys. I have 3, so I know.
Oh, I know. It's just so special.
And so what has been your biggest struggle throughout the last 11 years?
Well, I think what's coming to me is really cultivating community in my parenting, because I didn't really have, and I still don't have, anybody in my life who is in a similar position, so I always felt very alone in my parenting relationship. And it was hard to kind of merge with other families because it was 2 parents, and there just was a level of not really understanding. So I think the isolation was definitely the hardest, and especially when my son was little, and he was a challenging young one, and doing it alone was very hard,
Yeah.
So it's a whole different world now with him being a tween, and we definitely have community, and he can be at friends, but when he was little, it was very, very challenging. So I would say that would be kind of across the board the most challenging piece.
Yes, and that's a big challenge for us solo moms, even when there are people around, because it's up to you, right?
Totally.
Okay. So that's one of the reasons I started Solo Moms Talk, because I knew where I was with my 2 youngest boys, and it's hard when you didn't have someone even just to talk to. So yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because it was hard in the challenging moments, but it was also really lonely in the joyful moments, like not having somebody to share these like monumental moments in my son's life. It was like, I have a extended family that I'm very close with, but to have that other person who you share a child with, and to be able to share the joys and the struggles, was definitely a void for me that took me quite a while to make peace with.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. All right. So what do you do now that your son is getting independent? What do you do for a living, for one? Tell me.
I'm a body-centered holistic wellness coach. I'm based in Boulder, Colorado, and the pandemic forced my work to be more virtual. I do see clients in person, but I have online programs that I run, and I have run women's retreats, and I run groups, and work one-on-one with clients, both virtually and in person. And, I'm an entrepreneur, so I actually have my own podcast too. But I really had to choose to be an entrepreneur so that I could have that flexibility and be there for my son. Somebody had to get him to and from school, and be able to stay home if need be, if he was sick, etc. So, yes, he's got a lot more independence and freedom, but he still needs his mama, So I've really created my vocation in a way that I can show up for him simultaneously while earning a living. So,
yes.
yeah.
It's ironic that as a solo mom, you gain the strength, knowledge, and experience of balancing, juggling and balancing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes, being a single mom is a red mark on you, especially in the corporate world. But
Totally.
But all that juggling, and if there's no fear involved, leads you to do things. Hey, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm just going to figure out how to make it work for me and mine. So it's just an amazing thing, right?
Yeah. It's like strength that you can't even imagine having, right? I mean, that's what I think about it often. And I'm like, I am so independent. I really, I'm so used to doing everything that not much feels daunting to me, and the inner strength that I have cultivated over these 11 years is just, it's incredible. And I truly don't know if I would have accessed that if I had not been on this path. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Boy, we could talk all day about that, right?
I know.
But tell me about this body work that you do.
Well, I don't do hands-on body work anymore. I used to, but it's I work holistically. So do you know what holistic wellness is? It's approaching clients from all avenues, right?
Yeah.
And I've been in this field for 25 years. And so it's therapy. I'm not a therapist. I am a coach, but it is a somatic based therapy. So I work with people. It's a combination of talk therapy, of movement, of tracking sensations in their bodies, of bringing deeper awareness to ingrained patterns through so many different, ways in. Like I have gazillions of tools in my tool belt that I use to draw people out, meditation and mindfulness, huge for me. I've been a yoga teacher and practitioner since 1997. I kind of just bring it all together and deep, profound healing happening in this way.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's needed. That's necessary because, yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So I read somewhere about a near-death experience you had. What's that about? Tell us.
Yes, you did your research, huh? I love it. Yes, so it was 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, was traveling alone in Mexico, and which I've done many, many times. And it was my birthday, my 34th birthday, and I was witness to a hit by the Mexican drug cartel. And they opened fire middle of the day, and was hiding under a bed. I was at a hotel cafe and ended up in a hotel room with a bunch of locals and hidden under a bed. And I did not know if I was going to live or die. And it was a pivotal moment in my life for obvious reasons, but, just recognizing the preciousness of this life. It's so easy to focus on everything that's wrong and what you don't have and all the, and I was definitely struggling, still kind of grappling with parenting alone and how I was going to make ends meet and, the stresses with my son's dad, et cetera. And that moment just kind of snapped me awake, and it sent into motion a tremendous shift in my entire way of living and being.
I imagine that would, right? That is some scary thing. Yeah, that is very scary.
Yeah.
I thought about going to Mexico, and this month actually, because it's my birthday month.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And this has nothing to do with the interview, but I'm going to ask anyway. Have you gone back to Mexico, and would you?
Good question. I have not gone back. And would I? Yes. I love the country. I love the people. I love the culture. I don't want to go alone. I would like to go with another adult. We'll just say that. I feel like, having the near-death experience, period, was significant, obviously. But having it in a foreign country alone was very jarring to my system. And so, but Mexico's Mexico. It's not the safest place, but I again love it. Love the people, love the culture, love the food, I love everything about it. And so, yes, I would go back when given the opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I hear from everybody who's been and. I've been in Facebook groups, and that's what even when they're reporting something bad that happened, they still say, we just love it, So that's good. That's good to hear, because I will go still.
It's beautiful. It's a special place, and it's taken me a couple of years, though. I definitely needed a pause before hopping back on a plane to go down there, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you had to recalibrate your life, right? Because of that. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what is Allison grateful for today?
I am extremely grateful for my health and for my family's health. I have elderly parents who are thriving, even in the midst of this pandemic, that there's still just so much love around and these beautiful connections that I'm making on a regular basis. And my home, having warmth. We have a huge storm, and we just had in my community at the end of 2021 a massive wildfire wiped out 1,000 homes, a couple miles from me. So so it's made me appreciate even more my home and my space and what I own, etc. So yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing. All right, so you're a solo mom running a business and a home. How do you balance that so that you don't tear your hair out? Really?
Meditation is my essential. I'm a longtime practitioner, but really devoted to my practice 9 years ago when my son was very little and felt like I was drowning, and I just committed to waking up. I'm up at least an hour and a half before him, if not 2 hours. And so very early in the mornings, but my practice is essential to maintaining a steadiness in life. It doesn't mean I'm always steady. I have my moments, but I'm pretty regimented with my practices, and meditation being baseline, and then, several others that keep me in check.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And moving on from that, extending that actually, how do you practice self-care in addition to meditation? What does your self-care routine look like?
Well, I'm kind of a self-care queen, so you're asking the right. So, yes, my practices, the morning time is huge. I meditate and I write morning pages every morning. I eat really well, very, organic and whole food based primarily. But I'm also pretty I enjoy life and enjoy food and sleep, yoga, rest, exercise. I'm very I live in Colorado, so very into nature and movement. Connections with people is essential. Laughter, finding joy in moments. And I've been obsessed with baths as of late. I have to take a bath every single night right now. So candlelight, bubbles, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Holistic, right?
Yeah, very. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So how can we get in touch with you if we want to talk to you?
Thank you for asking. My website is embodymylife.com.
Okay.
And I actually just launched this pretty amazing virtual women's community called the Empower Women's Community. And I'm super excited about it. It's been kind of in the works for the last 2 years, trying to really assess what is needed during these pandemic times to keep women connecting and to keep women empowering themselves through practices and through their connections with other women. So that just launched yesterday, and I'm keeping it very affordable because I want it to be accessible for everyone. And so, yeah, that's all the information's on my website. That's a great way of finding me.
So we'll place a link to your website in the show notes.
Thank you.
Good measure. Yeah. Sure. All right. Yeah. So one piece of advice for a solo mom.
Yeah, this is what's coming to me. I'm going to trust it. Work with your mindset, on so many levels. You mentioned the stigma around solo moms, and it's a hard one to not take on, right? But to really work with what a badass you are, and how amazing this job you have is to raise these children alone. And so to really keep your mind in check feels like most important, rather than, the logistics. I mean, there's so many little logistical tricks we could talk about, but to really cultivate that deep relationship with yourself so that you can just show up every day to the best of your ability.
Yes, I agree. And I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, love yourself so you could teach others to love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Allison. Anything else?
No, I mean, this was great just to dip in for a moment. And, I never thought I'd be a solo mom for so long. I went through my divorce, and I thought for sure I would draw in somebody else to come and be a partner and be a dad to my son. And it just didn't happen. And I wouldn't change my path for anything. And it's taken a lot of soul searching to embrace that. But I think the more we resist persists, right? So if we can really embrace this journey wholly, it's like endless possibilities, So.
Yeah. I had a guest the other day said that enjoy the moment, because just realize there's no one to tell you what to do, and there's no one to check in with when you want to do something. So think positive.
I know. And, it's like remembering that it's such a precious relationship with our kids, you know, that it's so unique, it just is. And so I just keep really trying to remind myself of that, that this is an irreplaceable bond that my son and I will always have. And that's like, it's a deep honor, truly.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Allison, for coming to speaking.
You're welcome. So nice to chat with you. What's that?
I said, thank you for coming and talking to us today.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy that we were able to connect, Jen.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
I'm excited to share that SoloMoms Talk is now on YouTube. Check out these interviews on our new channel, SoloMoms Talk TV. There you will actually see the interaction between myself and my guests. You will also find bite-sized clips of daily inspiration to help you manage the struggles of everyday life. So click SoloMoms Talk TV below to watch now.